y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and on this episode we're going to review NXT TakeOver Phoenix. With that being said, let's jump right into the show. We only got 5 matches, so it's quick and concise. I love that. We start off hot. We have the Undisputed ERA of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong defending their tag team championships against the War Raiders of Rowe and Hansen. I thought this was a fantastic match. I think this is an example of a disconnect I don't understand, because NXT has really solid quality tag team matches with really good tag teams, and then the teams go to the main roster and are mostly forgotten about. I mean, you can look all down the history: American Alpha, Vaudevillains, Revival, Enzo and Cass to a degree, the Wyatt family, Ascension. I mean, it keeps happening over and over again. It's kind of disturbing. Even the Authors of Pain are in that kind of boat now, where they're brought up to the main roster, kind of forgotten rather quickly. It's weird because NXT proves over and over again that if you give it to the fans are going to enjoy it. And this match was very good. I liked how they worked with each other. I like the two teams. The two teams I think are fantastic. I think they're two of the better tag teams in the whole world. I thought this was a great way to start the show. The War Raiders pick up the win the tag team championship. I kind of hope this is a foreshadowing of the whole Undisputed Era going on to the main roster. But we'll see where this takes us from there. I'm going to give this match a 4. And by the way, if you haven't seen any of my reviews before, we rate everything on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I'm going to give this a 4. I thought it was a really good opener, a really fun tag team match. I like that the War Raiders won. I think it's time they won. It's time we start to see them really shine, because I think they're a fantastic tag team, and I think, again, I'd like to see the Undisputed Era, see what they can do. They've kind of done everything they could do in NXT, so I'd like to see what they can do on the next stage. And hopefully I'm not jinxing them and it turns out bad. Next up, we have a third match in a trilogy, Matt Riddle versus Kassius Ohno. It kind of feels like a lot of what Kassius Ohno says is coming from his heart, because it does feel like that they've forgotten him, that they don't care about him anymore, that he gets pushed back and back further every time a shiny new toy comes in. And Matt Riddle's one of those shiny new toys. And it kind of goes along with what happened here, because I thought this was a fantastic match. The crowd was absolutely dead. This was the quietest the crowd was all night, and it was like they didn't care about this match one bit. And I think it's because of the way Kassius Ohno's been portrayed. He's been portrayed for the longest time as someone that's not important, when we all know that he's a fantastic wrestler, and he had a fantastic match here. I think him and Matt Riddle did some really good things. The fans, the crowd themselves, to me, took away from the match. I mean, it was a detriment, because I think this is a really good match. I think this is a good way to, further what's going on, that Matt Riddle is a star. He's someone to be reckoned with. If Kassius Ohno had more of a cachet, that he had more wins under his belt, this being the third and decisive win, Matt Riddle picked up the win, by the way, the third and decisive time that Matt Riddle's beaten him, I think that would mean more if Ohno was someone that they put more effort into building. I know the rumors are always the aesthetics, that he can't keep his weight under control, so they don't want to push him. But, I mean, really, here you have one of the best talents in the wrestling world, a guy that a lot of wrestling fans really love, and that's the reason? I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's really weird for someone that grew up liking guys like Tugboat and Bam Bam Bigelow and Yokozuna and guys that were much larger than Gargano is and guys that were more, I'm sorry, not Gargano, Ohno is, but yet they were much larger than Gargano as well. To me, I like that about him. I like that he looks different. I like that he's not sculpted and doesn't look like a statue that came to life. And he doesn't look like he fits the role. The only time he looks like he fits the role is when he's in the ring and he's one of the best competitors in the world. I think this was a really good match. The crowd didn't seem to like it at all. I'm going to give this match a 4. I personally enjoyed it. Now, next up, we have my favorite match of the night. For the North American Championship, Ricochet defending against Johnny Gargano. I loved everything about this match. I love how physical they got. I loved the story they told. I loved how, yes, there were the high, intense spots, but there was a lot of psychology behind those spots. The Poison Rana was insane, brutal move that realistically not that many people in the world should be trying to pull off, and it always looks devastating because I can't see any way that it's not. And this was just a fantastic match. In my opinion, you've seen a little bit more of what's going on inside of Gargano's head, and that's the thing that he does better than most wrestlers in the world, is he's able to convey what's going on inside his head through what he does in the ring. And he's able to convey his feelings in a way that a lot of wrestlers really can't do, whether it be when he's torn between doing something evil or whether he was disappointed that something happened to him. This, to me, Gargano is light years ahead of most of the people on the WWE, in the WWE, as far as the art of storytelling. He's one of the top guys in the world. And I keep saying this, but it's true. This roster, these matches, this is a fantastic card. I really enjoyed this match. After a hard-fought contest, Gargano picks up the win, becomes the new North American champion. Maybe again, like I said, with Undisputed ERA, we'll see Ricochet possibly go up to 205 Live or one of the two shows. I don't know that he's done in NXT quite yet, but if this was his swan song, no better way to do it than losing a match that I thought was fantastic. I give this match a 5 out of 5. To me, this is the best match that I've seen in 2019 so far. It beats what they had at NXT TakeOver UK, which I love the tag match there, by the way, don't get me wrong. It beats what was on Wrestle Kingdom. I'm pretty sure it's going to beat everything that's on Royal Rumble tomorrow. But to me, this is my favorite match of the year so far. And I know we're only a month into this, or not even a month into the year, but man, there have been some great matches already. This shaping up to be a really fantastic year in wrestling. Now, coming off of that, we get our third of 4 championship matches. For the NXT Women's Championship, Shayna Baszler defending against Bianca Belair. I'm not sold on Bianca Belair yet. Don't get me wrong, I see there's talent there, but much like Sam Roberts, and that was something that blew up all over the internet, was what he was saying on the pregame show. Much like Sam Roberts, I don't think that she's ready for the spot. I don't think that she was the person that should have been put here. And I get it. I get it. The roster, the NXT women's roster, is a little bit on the thin side, especially with Nikki Cross and Lacey Evans going up. And we've seen Kairi Sane versus Baszler a few times already. So I get you have to pull in a new talent. I would have liked this more to see someone like Rhea Ripley maybe get the shot, or even Toni Storm. Again, I don't want to critique Belair because I think there's something there, there is. I don't think she's ready for this spotlight yet. And actually think this is her best match that I've seen out of her. So I really enjoyed the match, but to me, leading up to it, I didn't feel like she deserved it. And again, I don't want to criticize Bianca Belair, but I just don't think she's there in her evolution yet. I think there's other people that could have filled that spot. And I was kind of proven wrong a bit because this match was actually really good, and I think they did some really good things. It did feel like at times Bianca Belair was a challenge for Shayna, that she could have maybe beat her, and we did see that Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke had to come in and get involved a bit, and there was a ref bump, and for her to stand on the same ground as Shayna Baszler says a lot about her, so this is going to go a lot towards the evolution of the Bianca Belair character. I do enjoy that they've got away from her being undefeated, because I think the undefeated story, there's only so far you could go with it. We've seen with WCW, once you do that and you run with that, you paint yourself in a corner. And I think if you let those kind of things go too long, kind of like, there's incidents of it all over the place. Goldberg, Tatanka are two that come to mind right away, where once they're beaten, what's the draw? Because you made the undefeated thing their story. So I like that they cut that off here. She could grow from this. There's certain ways you do these things. I think Shayna Baszler is a great wrestler. Shayna picked up the win here after a very hard fought, and to me, a surprising match. This was my surprise of the night. I thought it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be going in. I'm going to give this match a 4. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed this match thoroughly. Now, last but not least, we get our main event for the NXT Championship. Tommaso Ciampa defending Goldie against Aleister Black. And I really... The bar was set so high with everything on the show that I was coming into this going, okay, can they deliver? Can these guys put on a match that's going to be as good as everything we've seen before? And they did. And I should not have been surprised, because both of these guys are amazing. Black and Ciampa are amazing wrestlers. I like the way they wrestle. I like the fact that Black sold his leg being hurt during the match. I like that it took Ciampa 3 times to hit his finisher before he could pin him. I like that, Black Mass was hit, but Ciampa barely gets away from it. He uses kind of his cunning. I liked a lot of the aspects of it. I liked there were callbacks to the Ciampa and Gargano feud. There were callbacks to Black and Gargano. There were callbacks to different things during the match that really made this match, sold this match to me, and I thought it was an amazing match. I really enjoyed it. If not for the Ricochet Gargano match, this match would be right up there with one of my favorites of the year so far. And it still is. It's still one of my favorite matches of the year. And I really enjoyed this. I like the fact that Ciampa retained the championship, because I think the story going forward is DIY both holding men's single titles, and we'll talk about what happened after the match here in a moment. I thought this match was fantastic. I give this match a 5. I think it was the second best match in the card, but it would be like saying this is the second best steak that I've had, or the second best, the second best Rolex watch, or the second best Ferrari. I mean, both these matches were fantastic. To me, they were both really good. They both would be the greatest match on most or the best match on most cards that you would put them on. So I rather enjoyed both of these matches. I slightly liked Ricochet and Gargano better, but Ciampa and Black was a really good match as well, in my opinion. Now afterwards, we see an extra long, thing. They kind of keep it going, cameras going long, where Ciampa going up the ramp, kind of reminiscent of the DIY breakup. And we see the little thing, the copyright come on the bottom of the screen, which was another callback to the DIY breakup, because a lot of people turned off the show when that happened on the first one and did not see Ciampa attack Gargano. Well, this time, Gargano comes out with his North American Championship. And Gargano and Ciampa hold their belts up high. The show goes off the air with them holding the belts in the air. And it kind of feels like the story has come back around, that they're back together this time as a heel team. And I really like the entire arc of this story and how all the twists and turns it's taken over the past years, ever since their involvement in the original Cruiserweight Classic to where we are now. It feels like it's an ongoing, evolving story, and it feels like something that we haven't seen in wrestling in a really long time. It feels like something kind of like TNA did with Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles, where they'd be friends and then enemies and then friends and then enemies, and it would weave in and out for several years, and it would affect other feuds that both men had. And that's kind of where I feel with this. Kind of, it's an all-encompassing. Everybody in NXT is involved in this. Everybody from Almas at first to Candice LeRae to Aleister Black to Velveteen Dream. I mean, different people have been woven in and out of this tapestry, and I think it really helps. And I think this is a fantastic story. I'm a big guy on what storylines in wrestling are, and that was one that really, really I enjoy. Now, overall, I'm going to give the show a 5 out of 5. I think the strength of the two big matches carries the whole show. The other 3 matches were very high quality. So, to me, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. And I think that the Royal Rumble, like I say, every time there's a takeover, is going to be hard-pressed to beat this. I love the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite pay-per-view of the year just because of the Royal Rumble itself. But it's going to be hard-pressed to beat this and to make a better show than this. But I hope they do. I really do. I hope that they top this, because that would be amazing for the wrestling fans, me included. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been my review of NXT TakeOver Phoenix.